Okay, hey, it's been a while. So, I'm just cooking an omelette here, so it's going to be a really quick video. But basically, this past 2 months or so has been swine flu season. Japan are really worried about swine flu. And at school, we've been affected. Most of the kids have actually had swine flu at this point. What the kind of general rule is, you know, if so many kids have it in a class, they send the class home for a week so that nobody else gets it. Although, if you actually know a thing or two about disease and whatnot, you realise that by the time one kid's got it, the rest of the kids are probably already infected. But either way it works out, you know. Especially considering how touchy-feely they are here, it's no wonder they get it. They don't cover their mouth when they cough. Maybe that's just the skanky little junior high schoolers that I've got, but they are nasty. Anyway, to get away from that, yeah, so what they do is, you know, once there's a certain number that have had the flu, they send the kids home. So for the last 2 weeks, I've had no first graders at junior high, and last week I had no third graders. This week we thought we were going to start getting back to our normal kind of schedule, and the second graders are starting to take ill now. Which is just kind of sod's law, really, isn't it? So two of the first grade classes two of the second grade classes have been sent home, but the first and third graders are now back, and the third one could be on its way by the end of the week. The third second grade class, that is. And the thing is, as well, it's supposed to be the chorus contest last week, and it got postponed to this week. And it's probably going to be postponed again because of the classes missing and it not being fair or whatever, so yeah. But yeah, so anyway, apart from that, everyone's been walking around. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm forgetting what people look like. All I see is their eyes because they're wearing masks all the time. And the masks are a very Japanese thing. Well, a very Asian thing, really, I think. And it's not something we really have in the Western countries, mostly because our scientists are informed enough to know that masks do not help. However, in Asian countries where people are a lot closer, you know, there's less personal space to be had, the touchy-feely stuff I was talking about. There's less personal space, there's more people, so masks are seen as a sign of politeness, etc, etc, etc. So it's polite to wear a mask now. Like, it's not really all about, it's not about the illness now, it's all about the politeness and, you know, letting other people know that you've got an illness, blah blah blah. So, yeah, most of the LTs that I know, their schools have actually made it mandatory, they have to wear a mask. And it's been a bit of a bone of contention among the LTs, because the LTs don't like wearing the mask. Because it makes you feel as if you're choking, you know? Because you've got it here, and you're like, feel Darth Vader, you know, you're just breathing in the same air that you're letting out. It's just nasty, and it can be no way healthy. But yeah, anyway, so that's been really the past 2 months at school, is the swine flu, and oh god, I hope they don't get it. Oh whoops, they've got it. They started doing vaccinations. We started vaccinations last week at elementary school. There was a couple of kids, like 1 or 2, but there wasn't a great deal, and then they vaccinated them, and now the whole of 4th grade has been sent home because they've all got swine flu. One of the kids that I was teaching this week, I saw him last week just after the injection, and his arm was like this. It was like, I'm He-Man! Well, he didn't say He-Man because obviously he's far too young to know who He-Man is, and I'm just showing my age. But something to that effect, you understand. But yeah, so now, not much else has been happening. I mean, I'm starting to get to the point now where I feel like everything, you know, I'm getting that horrible sense of deja vu. I feel like I've seen all the lesson plans, I've done this, I've done that. At the moment I'm trying to do a really interesting lesson. Whether it will actually be interesting or not is a different question, but I'm trying to do this really interesting lesson on culture, specifically about the fact that a lot of kids here seem to think, you know, white equals American, black equals Africa. So I'm trying to do a lesson to kind of break them out of that habit. But instead of being, you know, this is racist, don't do it, I'm doing it more a case of, you know, this is what people in this country think are polite. Oh, and by the way, do you happen to notice what colour they are? Japan's a very insular country, much more so than Britain is quite the same size as Japan. It's got, you know, it's got the same sort of statistics. I'm looking for a word here and I can't find it. But basically Japan and Britain are about the same size, you know, land-wise. They're both island nations. So, you know, there can be a lot of comparisons drawn, and yet where Britain is very much multicultural, too multicultural, some people would say, Japan are very, I'm speaking Latin now, are very monocultural. So I'm trying to do an interesting lesson, you know, saying, look, while this might be polite here, it's not polite there, and etc., you know, vice versa. Hopefully it should be an interesting one. I've kind of tried to make it a bit interesting with videoing my my neighbours, well, not my neighbours, my other ALTs in the area, so that they can see them and hear different accents and things, you know. But apart from that, really, I've not been up to much. I've been to... what have I been doing? Nothing really. Not had the money, it's the story of my life, isn't it? I've been nowhere. I harvested some rice, I think I told you about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Been at I've been at a concert, one of the ALTs here is in a band. I've put up some of his videos. There's some more videos that I'm actually working on just now that I'm going to put up for him. Yeah, and that's about it. It's basically been birthdays and parties and no real big reason behind them, or nothing particularly exciting that you would find exciting anyway. But yeah, anyway, my dinner's now ready, so I need to go and eat it, and then I've got class to go to in 40 minutes, so goodbye.